Hello, I'm Ellie.
And me, Martin.
And today we're in one of our most favourite places, aren't we?
Yes, at Lossiemouth. Beautiful Jewel Moray coast.
Lossiemouth is located on the northeast coast of Scotland, in the county of Morayshire, where the River Lossie enters the Moray Firth. It is a popular seaside resort. It has two superb long sandy beaches and a golf course. Renowned for being the birthplace of Ramsay MacDonald, who was the first UK Labour Prime Minister, it is also home to RAF Lossiemouth. The Morayshire Railway connecting Lossiemouth to Elgin was opened in 1852 and brought trade and tourism to the town. The line was closed in 1964 as part of the Beeching Cuts. Station Park now stands on the site of the old railway terminal and incorporates many of the original features and sleepers. There is a play park, a bandstand, as well as a viewpoint overlooking the East Beach. The old railway carriages are buried under the sand dunes of the East Beach. The Stotfield and Lossiemouth Harbour Company was formed in 1834 to build a new harbour at the port of Lossiemouth because the original harbour had become unfit for purpose, being too shallow for larger sailing vessels, which were unable to gain access. The company was renamed the Elgin and Lossiemouth Harbour Company in 1836 to reflect the business investors from the nearby town of Elgin. By 1839, a new harbour was built at Stotfield Point. It was a great success, being able to accommodate larger sailing ships and more fishing boats. As trade increased, it was enlarged and a new west basin opened in 1857. Lossiemouth Harbour became the major seaport for the area and handled imported cargoes of salt, coal, timber, oats, slates and barley. It also handled the area's main exports of whisky, herring, timber, potatoes and stones. It was also the port of call for the Leith to Inverness passenger service. However, the advent of the steam railways meant cargo trade was reduced and fishing became Lossiemouth's main industry. By 1921, Lossiemouth had become a major white fishing port. Indeed, it was the third largest white fishing landing port in Scotland. But fishing grounds were becoming less productive, and after the UK joined the EEC in 1973, the fishing industry rapidly declined. The decline of the fishing industry led the directors of the Elgin and Lossiemouth Harbour Company to install pontoons for the burgeoning leisure industry, and Lossiemouth Marina was born. It now has 125 serviced berths. A bridge spanning the river and giving access to the East Beach from the Esplanade was first erected in 1913. However, the increased number of fishing boats arriving at Lossiemouth saw the bridge pulled down in 1915 as it was too low to provide access for the boats. Another bridge was constructed just a little further along the river in 1919. After years of neglect, this popular and characterful footbridge was closed due to safety concerns in 2019, despite the local community trying to save it. 3 years on, a new bridge now spans the River Lossie in the old bridge's original position along the Esplanade. It opened on the 31st of May 2022 and, unlike the old wooden footbridge, is fully accessible.
Well, look at that, we're on the beach.
been a few years.
It's been 3 years since people could have access to this beach. It's been a long time coming. This beautiful, long, sandy beach has been virtually inaccessible for the past 3 years since they closed the wooden bridge. Mr. Bear's hiding again. What's he going to be up to in a minute? Only the very brave people who would walk or swim across the river at low tide could get to this beach, couldn't they? Well, there is a walk, isn't there?
There is a walk.
There's a walk you can do to get to this beach. You go through the woods and around and then onto the beach. And how far is it?
I think it's around 4 miles.
Around 4 miles. So it hasn't been completely inaccessible. But oh, it's so nice to be back on this beach. 3 years is a long time. We've missed it, haven't we?
We have missed it.
Previously, access to this beach was via this bridge behind me, which was closed in 2019 over safety fears. It was a bit rickety, bit of a dodgy walk across it, but my word, this bridge holds so many memories, not just for me but so many other people. And it's going to be demolished within a few weeks. So the reason we came today was to try and capture both of the bridges up at the same time. This bridge has stood here for over 100 years. It was constructed in 1919.
Hello.
Just looking at the bridge, and we were a little bit worried about what it would look like, but it blends in, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
It's really nice, and it's lovely to walk across. You haven't got to jump across missing planks. But it's lovely.
It's
And
very nice.
it's a nice location as well,
Yeah.
on the site of the original one.
Right. Yeah. Very nice. Very nice.
Of course, the people of Lossiemouth and surrounding areas have not been devoid of a beach for the past 3 years, because they're lucky enough to have two. This is the West Beach. RAF Lossiemouth is right behind me, as is Sea Lighthouse.
Stotfield, now part of Lossiemouth, was a very small fishing village with just a few houses situated on the rock face that overlooks the golf course today. It had 3 fishing boats. On Christmas Day 1806, the 3 fishing boats, crewed by 21 men and 3 boys, set off in good calm weather for the Halliman Skerries. When returning to shore around noon, a violent storm arose, and despite their desperate efforts to row back to shore, the boats were carried out to sea. No trace of the boats, men or boys were ever found. 200 years later, on the 25th of December 2006, this memorial was erected to their memory and is also dedicated to the many fishermen from this community who have lost their lives at sea. The Sea Lighthouse was completed in 1846. It closed in 2012 after 166 years. It's now a museum. There is much more to Lossiemouth than the beaches and the harbour that we've shown you here. There are many trails, walks and water-based activities to do, both on the beach and on the river, as well as a wealth of sea life and birds to look out for. The caravan park is never empty, and there are plenty of shops and eateries, and a harbour museum which is definitely worth a look in. Mind and pop in past for a look-see if you're ever in the area.